We'll start with this first. Your other half earns more. If you're okay, that's good. If you're not, maybe there are points that you can consider. Two people actually earning income is good. It's much easier to raise a family. But the question always becomes awkward when, the girlfriend or the wife is actually earning more. And the question is why? Why do we feel comfortable with housewives but not house husbands? The answer is very simple. In society, when men earn more income, it's usually desirable, correct? More attractive, correct? But for ladies, when they earn more, it may or may not be more attractive. I had a friend. His past relationship, he had a partner who was earning a very good income. And looking back, I think it was a sore point that he couldn't get past. It could have been one of the factors that ultimately caused the relationship. But I also know of couples with the wife earning at least 3 times more than the husband. And to me, they seem okay. So it could be that the best way to really perceive this situation is that the focus should not be on each other. It's not a competition. It's a team sport. And kids, if they are in the family, naturally benefit with more resources. The focus becomes how well to run the journey together and not me versus you. And that brings us to the next point. How much does a couple need to earn before starting a family? This question came up. My partner and I have been working for 3 years and planning for a 4-room HDB plus 2 children. But our total pay only adds up to $7,000 per month. We are quite worried because of the cost of flat, and having children are not cheap and we're not getting any younger, both in the late 20s. We know it differs for each couple and we want to get a rough estimate. The keyword is only $7,000. My guess is that the couple is not saving well and they don't have much spare. That's why bringing on dependents become very scary. It's like you having 7 pieces of chicken for dinner and you are very hungry. You know you are probably going to need 3 pieces of chicken for yourself. It will naturally be scary if you are to share that plate with 3 more other people, correct? What if your other half also needs 3 pieces? Then how much is there left for the other 2 people? And these 2 other people in this scenario are children. But if we flip the situation, 7 pieces of chicken and you only need 1 to be satisfied. Your other half only needs 1. And there seems to be a lot of surplus, 5 pieces of chicken left on the table. Now, suddenly bringing on 2 other children to eat that chicken seems very manageable. So my suggestion is not really how much they earn, and also not that more money will make them feel more ready. They firstly need to work on having surplus, because that surplus will give them that financial security that they can bring on dependents and not be financially strained. Because if you look around different families from different walks of life, it really feels like any amount you can bring up a child, you can bring up a family. But since you stayed here, I'll give you my number. I'm not going to go around the bush and tell you that you can actually start a family with $1,000. That is also not true. If I were to come up with a number, my best guess is $5,000. For a couple with $5,000 income, which means one of them earning $5,000, the other is a house husband or housewife, or both earning $2,500 each, which is a starting poly grad's salary. And the question is why? Why $5,000 as a minimum to start things with? We have all minimum expenses, correct, in life. And I don't know if you're a young couple, but if you are, maybe you haven't seen childcare costs before. And it's true, the minimum childcare cost is $800, those that are in PCF. But there are a lot of reliefs, a lot of subsidies. And it can drive that cost as low as less than $100, depending on the income range. So regardless of what you think of government, for low-income families, there are a lot of subsidies. If the mother is working, there is a relief already. If the family's income is below a certain bracket, there are additional reliefs. And the main thing is, for my experience, seeing families with less than $5,000 in combined income, the financial situation is usually not stable. Because if you do the math, for a combined income of $5,000 and less, that may not be enough to really put aside for retirement. From a financial standpoint, the couple may need to work on the basics first to get the income level up, to give their children some resources. Of course, how much and what kind is always debatable. There are childcare centers that are more than $2,000. But are they really necessary? So back to the point, $7,000 only, maybe that's already enough. Because the key question is prioritization. If they choose to spend it on a car, it will easily cost them $1,500, which is more than 2 childcare costs already. If they choose to spend it on expensive renovation for their 4-room flat, they will bring on loans which will make them feel financially unstable. And with that, I'd like to leave with an ending point. There's something mentioned by Jordan Peterson. The biggest regret is if someone wants children and yet did not have. Think about it. That is very profound. For couples who wanted children but did not have, that is usually the biggest life regret. I'll leave it with that. If this podcast has helped you or given you some food for thought, smash on like, smash on subscribe. We'll continue to discuss more family finances when I come across one. Thank you for listening to here. I'll see you in the next podcast.